listen to me. I want to go back to the way we were before. Friends, no sprinkles.
Oh.
Ever watch a movie or a TV show and suddenly there's one of these numbers on screen? An Indian guy with a made-up Hollywood Indian accent, hair slicked back with oil, and googly eyes for the white girl with usually blonde hair. And then the girl rejects him, and the white guys around him laugh and tease. Meanwhile, he is better looking than all of them combined and 2 more skinny white boys. And then, to punish him further, he gets fired? Or never finds love? Or dies? Disney, I'm looking at you.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, as your friend, you might like to know that we didn't have sex in the conventional sense.
Oh, God, did you pull some weird Indian crap on me?
Brown boy bad crush is a term I coined for the phenomena that I see oh so often in media, where a male, typically of South Asian descent, is depicted as being attracted to a female, typically Caucasian. This attraction is often unrequited, comedic, and sometimes punished with harsh consequences within the storyline. This video explores the historical and contemporary depiction of South Asian men in American media, focusing on the recurrent, emasculating portrayals that have pervaded various forms of media, including literature, film, and television. By tracing these representations from early 20th century portrayals to the present, this video seeks to understand the socio-political and cultural factors that have contributed to such stereotypes. The analysis draws on post-colonial theory, media studies, and cultural criticism to examine how these depictions have evolved and their implications on the perception of South Asian men in both American and global context. So why does this happen? Academically. There's 2 academic theoretical perspectives. There's the post-colonial theory, and then there's the gender studies theories. Yes, the blue hair and pronouns theories, but they're actually good, so listen up. Post-colonial theory. Post-colonial theory provides a critical framework for understanding the emasculating depiction of South Asian men in Western media. Scholars like Edward Said and Homi K. Bhabha have explored how colonial discourses continue to influence contemporary representations of the other. These theories highlight how media depictions are not merely reflections of reality, but are constructive narratives to serve to maintain power dynamics established during the colonial era. Gender studies. Gender studies offer additional insights into the emasculating portrayals of South Asian men. The intersection of race and masculinity reveals how racialized masculinities are often constructed in opposition to dominant white masculinity. This framework helps to explain why South Asian men are frequently depicted as lacking traditional masculine traits and how these portrayals reinforce broader societal hierarchies. The roots of the brown boy bad crush trope I can trace back to colonial narratives where South Asian men were often depicted as effeminate or undesirable compared to their Western counterparts. During the British colonial period, the portrayal of South Asian men in Western literature and media was heavily influenced by imperial ideologies. British colonial writers and policymakers often depicted colonized men as the other, emphasizing their perceived inferiority to justify colonial rule. South Asian men were frequently categorized as effeminate, lacking the virility and strength attributed to the British male archetype. This emasculation served to reinforce the notion of British superiority and the paternalistic rationale for colonial domination. You know about Gandhi and his vow of nonviolence. Well, what about the Indian sepoys who were forced by the British to fight in both World War I and II? For the British, the same Indians that rioted and revolted for centuries, only to have the British sneakily, in a hurried and chaotic process in the middle of the night in 1947, leave the country entirely. No kidding, my grandma was like 17. She woke up, not one white person in sight. But to maintain imperialistic rationale, you need to keep them misrepresented. Literature and art. In British literature and art, South Asian men were often therefore depicted in ways that emphasized their supposed passivity and docility. Rudyard Kipling's works, for example, frequently portrayed Indian men as loyal servants or subservient figures lacking the agency and masculinity of their British counterparts. These representations were part of a broader colonial discourse that sought to feminize colonized subjects and underscore the civilizing mission of the British Empire. The post-independence period saw some shifts in the representation of South Asian men as former colonies gained political autonomy. However, many of these stereotypes established during the colonial era persisted. In the early to mid-20th century, Western films and literature continued to portray South Asian men in emasculating roles, often as comic relief or as mystical passive figures. During the mid-20th century, South Asian characters were still often depicted in emasculating roles, such as the bumbling sidekick or the comical foreigner. These portrayals reinforced the notion of South Asian men as lacking agency and masculinity. These representations were part of a broader cultural discourse that sought to feminize non-Western men and underscored the supposed superiority of Western masculinity, while implicitly warning white women against interracial relationships. The enduring legacy of colonial stereotypes meant that these representations were rarely challenged or critically examined.
Did you pull some weird Indian crap on me?
No. After we got undressed and jumped in bed, you asked if I had protection.
Oh, you did, didn't you?
Of course, I'm always packing. Anyway, I had trouble putting it on, and you tried to help, and that was all she wrote.
We didn't actually...
I did. It was beautiful.
Media literacy and representation. Addressing the issue of emasculating portrayals requires a concerted effort to promote media literacy and more accurate representations of South Asian men. Media creators and consumers need to be aware of the historical roots and ongoing impact of these stereotypes. Increasing the visibility of diverse and empowered portrayals of South Asian men can help to challenge and dismantle these harmful stereotypes. If you watched this channel before, you know that it is a constant battle between me and several cheap microphones, but I finally got a really good microphone, and I really like it, and I put Hello Kitty stickers on it, and I hope that the audio is way better. Subscribe if you would like to become a cinnamon pie. Get it? It's like cutie pie, but brown. And if you're not brown, who doesn't like cinnamon? Like the video, please. It really does help with the algorithm. And you guys have been helping out so much by liking my past couple videos, and the videos have been getting pushed out so much more, which is really nice. I love all of you. Good night. I love you. Sweet dreams.